Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, and today we're going to be looking at the electoral college map and where everything stands as of right now. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. And we see here that right now Donald Trump in the national aggregate leads by exactly 2 percentage points, and we can clearly see a couple of national polls where Harris is ahead. Funny enough, the two-way race and the head-to-head race actually have the same exact thing. They literally have both a 2-point spread. So it seems like for the first time, Kennedy actually may be hurting Trump more than Harris. However, I think this may actually be more in part of Democrats actually being oversampled in favor of Harris, because I really doubt that Kennedy went from being at 10% to 6% in the average in literally just like a week. That doesn't even make any sense. He's never even fallen down that quickly. And so that is a little bit concerning. And another thing to point out here too is that Harris's approval rating has kind of unnaturally spiked up. Even Donald Trump himself, he's never really had anything like that except when, January, 6th basically happened. That's the only time his approval rating kind of really dipped. And he basically went back down to where he was in 2016 practically. He basically went back down there, which is pretty impressive that even in his worst political moment yet, he went literally back down. He actually got less popular after the midterms than he did even after January 6th. So that is something pretty interesting to note as well. But we clearly see Donald Trump is actually gotten popular. He's at around 44% in the average, and the highest he's ever been is about 45%. And so that's pretty interesting as well. Even in 2016, he never even got that popular. And so if he's able to crack 44%, that would be pretty good. The average spread between their approval ratings tends to be, I believe it's about like around, it's the spread of their approval ratings is around it's about 1.2 percentage points. As of right now, that's basically where we have it right now. And so when we look at the national approval ratings for the individual states, this is the main thing I use to predict the election, not really the state polls, because the state polls never really tend to be accurate. Combining my demographic model, which uses data from our last national poll, and the difference in their approval ratings, we can basically kind of go out here and basically predict what's going to happen in the electoral college. And so we are going to be going over all the safe Republican states, those being Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, all of Nebraska except the 2nd Congressional District. We also have Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, West Virginia, and the state of Indiana. Maine's second is even in this column at 17 points for Trump. So that's pretty interesting. He's winning there pretty easily in Maine's 2nd Congressional District. Iowa goes for Trump in this scenario by 18 points. Same thing in Ohio. You have around a 17-point victory for Donald Trump in this electoral college scenario. South Carolina is a 20-point win as well. So that gets Donald Trump up to 146 safe electoral votes. Harris, on the other hand, has a couple of them. She has California at 22 points, Hawaii at 19 points for Harris. We also have Maryland and Massachusetts at 27-point victories. We have the District of Columbia at 80 percentage points for Harris, so only a 6-point shift there now. It's back up into the 80s, and Vermont is a 29-point victory. We can see all these states were previously safe states in the previous cycle. California, we have Hawaii. If we were to actually show the results and not the partisan lean, we see that states like California, Hawaii, Maryland, D.C., Massachusetts, and Vermont were in these columns. However, they were actually, a little bit bluer than what they show on this map as of right now. So clearly, Harris is still underperforming Joe Biden's numbers from the previous cycle as of right now. And looking at the likely Republican states, we have Texas and Florida. Florida in this scenario is a 12-point win. Same thing with Texas. They are both 12-point victories in this forecast. Harris seems to have gained with Hispanic voters for whatever reason in the polling data. And so that's why you have Texas and Florida falling under 15-point victories, but she's still underperforming Joe by like 15 points with them. It's just not as competitive as they were in the other demographic models. So that is something pretty interesting to account for as well. The state of Georgia in this forecast is going to be a 6-point win, as well as Arizona. The state of Nevada is an 8-point win, alongside the state of North Carolina being a 9-point victory for Trump. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania all being 9-point victories. As of right now, with all these states voting pretty heavily to the right of the national environment, Donald Trump, if you round out the popular vote in the model, he's winning by 3.5 points. But if you round it out, he's actually winning by 4 points. So Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina all to be voting around 5 points to the right of the nation would make sense, considering North Carolina's trend has been pretty stagnant, and that's kind of where it was around back in 2020. And the state's actually been trending left half a point every cycle, so that would actually make sense. And Wisconsin and Pennsylvania have kind of been trending like a couple points Republican every cycle, so I'm not surprised to necessarily see that unfold right now. Michigan would only be a 7-point victory, so it would be voting 3 points to the right of the nation as of right now. We also see Nebraska, I believe it's Alaska actually. Yes, Alaska. That is a 14-point win for Trump. So a little bit under 15 points. The state's been kind of trending to the left a little bit. So that's why you're kind of seeing it not be safe Republican, even though Trump's winning the popular vote by 4. That state's been trending Democrat really, really fast. I actually expect it to become competitive at some point in the near future. Washington, 12 points for Harris. Oregon, 9 points for Harris. Colorado is going to come in at 8 points for Harris, as well as Illinois. Connecticut, Delaware, and Rhode Island are all likely. Connecticut at 12 points for Harris. Delaware at 10 points. And then Rhode Island coming in right now as a pretty sizable victory of 11 points for Harris. New Jersey is also an 8-point win for Harris. New York is at a 14-point victory. It is almost back to the safe Democrat column, believe it or not, as of right now, which is very, very fascinating. Maine's first congressional district is a 13-point victory. So regardless of the Harris bump from this honeymoon period, Donald Trump is still winning the Electoral College very easily in all the major swing states by 312 electoral votes to Harris's 191 Electoral College votes. And we have a couple swing states to fill out. We currently have the lean states right now. Virginia is going to be a 4-point win for Harris, so Harris has been gaining here. Virginia is almost back to being a likely state. New Mexico is also going to be in the lean column for Harris at 2 percentage points. Nationally, she's kind of gained a bit, and even if there is a little bit of response bias, the favorables are showing that the race is kind of narrowing up, and she is now winning New Mexico and Virginia as of right now. And in the state of New Hampshire, Harris is also winning by a point there, and when you look at Maine at large, that is also a 1-point victory for Harris. She's doing a lot better with liberal voters as of right now across the country, and that is why you're seeing her expand the map back into these deep blue states. They are all under like 2 points though, so that's not really good. It's not really saying much because all of these were pretty Democrat victories last time. New Mexico only a 2-point win for Harris. Biden won it by 11. Virginia, she's only winning that by 4. We have that being around a 10-point victory. So again, 6-point shift. New Hampshire, that was a 7-point win. Right now it's only a 1-point victory. We have Maine at large being a 9-point win, and it's also only a 1-point win. So you clearly see that all of these states were really deep blue last time, and they're currently shifting back to Harris from Biden. But even with this honeymoon high surge, she is still down in the Electoral College by a pretty decent amount, to the point where it's kind of questionable whether or not she's going to win these states very solidly. And the last 2 states on the forecast are Nebraska 2nd and Minnesota, which tilt Republican in my forecast as of right now. They could honestly go either way, and Harris could be, getting 226 and Trump could be getting 312 Electoral College votes. But right now they are tilting into the Republican column very narrowly. Nebraska 2nd has totally been absolutely trending to the right, or to the left, excuse me. We clearly see here voted for Biden by 6.6%. It even voted to the left of the national environment by a couple points. And I expect it to continue to trend to the Democrats this cycle. And that's why it's such a competitive race, despite Donald Trump winning the popular vote by 3.5 points. And Minnesota is very, very neck to neck here. You actually see that the state basically trends like a little bit less than a point to the left now. If we actually see here it voted 7.1 percentage points for Biden, while he won the popular vote by 4.5. But if you were to basically shift the entire electorate by the national popular vote, you only see Minnesota voted 2.7 percentage points to the left of the nation. And right now, the state is effectively voting 3.5 points to the right of the nation, or to the left of the nation, basically. So the state of Minnesota, yes, it does trend Democrat, but nearly not as much as it would have previously. And so that's why you see Minnesota in the tilt Republican column in the forecast. So Donald Trump, as of right now, is winning 323 electoral college votes to Harris's 215 electoral college votes. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. And I will see you guys in the next forecast. By the way, I am streaming at around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Arizona primary. So everybody go check that out. That would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next video. Everyone have a great night.